and let's make it happen.
Don't just stand around. Help me!
Ready for battle.
Splashdown.
Okay, what do you have comp-wise? You've got Tracer Echo. You're running a pretty meta comp. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Help me!
Stop the payload.
A little slow to realize where he's coming from, but not a big deal. No melee weave there? I'm a little surprised.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Help me!
Stop
So
the
just a
payload.
little slow to realize that the only place he can possibly be is above us, right? Like we're looking this way, he has to be above us. Like there really aren't any other options, but that's not a big deal. And then if I slow this down just to exaggerate it,
That's smart.
hey, you're zapping him, you find him. Usually you would have weaved the melee here because it just preserves ammo and, you know, you're not going to get through a Winston in an entire clip. He's still got armor left. This, you know, was a very high probability melee to hit, so not a big deal. Card. You choose to leave, fine.
Boosting up.
And you're going to poke that out. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, you're gonna take the space back? No, you're gonna drive the Winston. Yeah, we can do this. We can tank trade. How's your Zarya doing? That's what I was worried about. So, conceptually, tank trading is okay. Like, you look at this and go, hey, I think we're okay in the poke battle. Like, we have our comps are pretty balanced. We have the Zen Mercy. They have the Zen, what am I trying to say? BAP, but they have double dive tank, whereas we have the Zarya. Yeah, I'm okay. You know, we have the Echo, they have the Hanzo. It's pretty balanced on the whole, but I think you're thinking, hey, I should tank trade because we're a little bit better at the poke because they're running double dive tank, and that's sort of true. But who does your Zarya get energy off of in this comp?
Me.
Right. And have you really taken any damage this match?
No.
Right. So she's just struggling. So this just becomes a, hey, we have to be aware that, you know, our Zarya is not going to get good energy off of our Tracer or our Echo. We do have to help a bit. We do have to take advantage of the fact that we have a Zarya, sort of whether we want to or not. Like, your playstyle wouldn't be wrong with other tanks. Your playstyle isn't even wrong with a Zarya if she's already high energy necessarily, and it's not wrong with how your comp works, but you do have to give her a poke phase, otherwise she's just going to be ineffective. So as we sort of go through here, I'm accelerating it, but
Attackers incoming.
yeah, this is just a Winston that hurts you. You took a little damage, you got healed, now you take a little more, but nothing's happening. There we go. We're back here. Again, our Zarya's getting nothing.
Boosting up.
I was expecting that you'd use this window, your full health you have in a Harmony Orb, to sort of circle back up here and go, hey, and now I'm going to use this. Maybe I'll challenge the Hanzo. Maybe I'll just jump across back here again, but I'm going to take my space back. And then, you know, if it happens, I can still jump back and join my team. But really, you do want to get to a cycle where you can go, I'm going to drop with a bubble, whether I get something done or not. I'd love to get something done, but whether I get something done or not, this is our poke phase. Like, this comp that you guys are running is pretty interested in how quickly can we charge our primals and our grabs, etc. Like, we want to repeat sort of go in, etc., and you're not going to do that fast at all against them when they're diving you and you're peeling, etc. Like, it's okay to peel their stuff, but we do need to get some cycles through here because our Zarya is like half a character right now.
Okay.
So again, you've got a bubble and you're reloading during it, and you know that's not the end of the world, but this Zarya is just like, what do I do? And this should have come out when you were out here, when you were jumping the Hanzo, etc. And you know, even if you'd stayed here, you'd have gotten a little more value, but I wouldn't actually recommend you stay here and, you know, take shots, etc. You backing out here to, you know, to do this was fine. It's just we really should have circled up already by now.
Focus with me.
Excuse me. Barrier up.
Okay. Okay, so this is just a coordination issue. She thought you were going because usually that's sort of, if she has bubble, that's sort of what you would do. So it's sort of like playing Reinhardt, where when you're playing Winston here in this double bubble thing, you have to be more conscious of when she wants to bubble you. Like, yes, she wants to bubble me. Her bubble's just coming back, etc. So I actually am going to go in and absorb a little and then get out, etc. Now we're kind of stuck because we got the bubble late, and it's just going to make the rest of this fight hard. But that's okay. Right, and if you're solo queuing, you're solo playing, you're solo doing stuff like that is right what you just did, but we do have to remember, hey, we have a Zarya in place, so we want to, try to do that. It's even easier with our Zarya, but hey. It's just a mechanical error.
This is just a die.
What's
Because
that?
all of us was dead.
Oh, you were
This
just
was
deciding to reset?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I thought you were trying to go in here and then you were going to do a little contest from up here, zap down, etc. But that's fine. You're just resetting.
Hey. Onward and upward. Excuse me for diving in.
Wait for it. Take cover. Behind you.
Barrier activated.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So we don't love doing this, but we can. Are we going to look for a window where she can give us a bubble and we can do something, even though we're down one? No.
Bad guys, heads up.
It's fine. So I don't mind challenging. I'm just super conscious at this point that, I don't think my Zarya's had more than 40, maybe 50 energy this whole match, and I'm looking at this and going, this was potentially fine. There was a window here where you definitely could have been like, hey, my Zarya definitely has a bubble available, and it's pretty safe poke for me to just drop into the group that was here with the lamp, etc. I'm going to get the bubble, and I can immediately leap back out, and even if I have to spend my personal bubble, that's probably fine because we just lost someone, and it's going to be more than 12, 15 seconds before we push again. This stuff was fine. I don't mind that you're going, hey, it looks like I have a combo with my Tracer to get on this. Nope, turns out it's a 2-on-2, etc., and you shoot them out. I don't have any issue with that whatsoever. I just would have liked potentially, hey, let's get our Zarya into this so that this time, this poke phase, etc., is meaningful when we actually get to it. But that's fine.
Splashdown.
Where was your Zarya when you went for this leap? Sorry, I'm being a little blind here. Let's go there. It's here. Okay, so it has the option. Or it will.
This will protect us.
Okay. Time to leave.
Where were we?
Get in there.
Nothing you can do about that.
Splashdown.
Good re-challenge. Little waste of ammo there, but not a big deal. You were going to reload anyways. Good job using that bubble to eat a mine.
Step right. Come on.
over.
Slashed out.
Good, good. Right back up. Right back up.
Teamwork.
Let's go a couple seconds back here. So you go up, which I'm fine with, and do I have any mental track? Your Zarya's right here, so I can definitely do it. You guys know that you just lost a fight, so your Zarya, I mean, everyone effectively went down in the last fight, so here we are. You have your Harmony Orb. You don't have your leap back, and then before you're even close to having your leap back, the Winston shows up. Okay.
Heroes.
Here? Really? No, I don't think so. Are you trying to stay here so that the Valk can arc? Is that why you're playing on this side rather than circling back here? Or do you feel, hey, it's too much heat if I circle back over here?
I was actually waiting for a payload to move up just a bit so I can have easier access to her backline, and so my Zarya can see me, so she can bubble me if I needed to.
Okay. I mean, I know where your Zarya is. I know your Zarya is hyper aware of you. I feel like your Zarya can bubble you if you drop back here, and even if she gets booped, like, she's gonna keep a sight line where she can bubble you, so I'm less worried about that. But you have the Valk going. I can live with going this way for that reason, just because it
Okay.
keeps the arc. That's fine. You have all of your cooldowns. She's expecting you to go in and you're just not. Okay, that's fine. So you guys just aren't on the same page here, and that's clearly what's doing the most pain this match. She, when she wanted you to drop back here, I can almost guarantee she'd have done it. And now she's like begging you, please drop, please do something. I need to be able to contribute, and I can't until you do. And, this is contributing for Winston, but this is contributing for Winston when you have to work as a less bulky Winston. When you're like, hey, we have light healing, we have like Zen Mercy or, Zen Lucia, something like that. And it's like, yeah, I got to do this, I got to play it safe, etc. You need to go, nope, I'm going to go here and I'm going to eat the flashbang. I'm going to zap, get my big zaps on multiple people, etc. Like, this would have been good. Dropping here would have been okay. It's not like this is a bigger mistake on Zarya than you to, like, Zarya trying to force you to drop because, okay, half the bubble's going to get wasted even if you reactively drop to the bubble to do it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to pretend that that's right, but we haven't been making it easy, and there were windows to make it easy. Not every window. You've been doing reasonable stuff, pushing back this Winston, going and doing this stuff, but we need to change our mindset a little bit when we're playing this double bubble tank line, where it's like, hey, I do need to go in hard. I need to go in direct a little bit more to actually soak some of that damage to be more challenging. Like, it's not enough to go back here one-on-one with the Zen, happen to get the Zarya bubble, and then go, aha, I took down the Zen, it's great, etc., etc. Like, okay, that can be enough, but you are actually expected to take more damage. You are expected to go a little more, hey, I'm going to go into this hard. Now, that doesn't mean you have to stand right here and go, hey, I'm going to shift into 6 people, but it does mean, hey, I need to drop into this a little harder. I need to come down here. I know you want access to the back line, and that's not bad by any means. You can let this back line in here, but again, you do want to be aware of your Zarya's cooldown, just like you would be with if you were playing Ryan, where it's like, hey, I want to go take space now when my bull's up. I want to go take space now when my bull's up. Now I want to close the angle, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to do the same thing with Winston, where it's like, yes, normally we might wait the extra 2 seconds for them to come out here, but it's bubble timing and it's bubble energy, and that's a lead for my Zarya versus the other Zarya. Yes, I know there's no Zarya, etc. So I want to do this. I don't want to spend my team's my team bubbles time. I don't want that just resting on cooldown. I want to go take my swing as Reinhardt. Well, in the Winston version, it's I want to go do my thing as Winston and then I'll pop out, etc. But hey, I'm harping on this a lot, but this is
So be more aggressive with Winston when playing with Zarya.
absolutely. You absolutely need to
Okay.
be more aggressive. And you specifically need to be more aggressive, when that bubble's available, you can expect that you're getting that bubble and you want to be set up so that you can do like, again, if we were playing Reinhardt at a choke here and there was another Reinhardt, let's say right here, we would walk up to go swing when we know our Zarya has bubble. Like, okay, Zarya used bubble, okay, 8-second cooldown, blah, blah, blah. And then we get up to 6, 7, we get the cooldown down to 2, 1 seconds, and we start moving up even before we might even start moving up even before the cooldown is up so that we're there right as the cooldown is up, right? Like that's something that we might do so that our Zarya doesn't use it early, use it to try to tell us to go. That's probably something you've done before, yes?
Say that one more time.
So, like, if we're playing, let's pretend we're playing like a Ryan Zarya mirror. One of
Okay.
the things that we would do as Reinhardt is we would go, hey, I know that bubble was used. Bubble ended 6 seconds ago. It's an 8-second cooldown. So as we're passing 6 to 7, as we're getting from 7 to 8, we might already be advancing, or let's pretend we're attacking, advancing onto this Reinhardt that we want to swing at. We might go from our relatively safe cover and start advancing, so that when we actually get there and are swinging, is right when that team bubble becomes available. Is that something you've
Yes.
intentionally done
Yes.
before? Right.
Yes.
So we need to think the same way a little bit about our Winston. It's not quite as extreme, but a little more. Okay, my Zarya has bubble here. I know that because I know when the last one went out. So even though I'll have something better in 3 seconds, I'm going to do it now because I want my Zarya to get the energy earlier, because my Zarya getting the energy earlier is going to her doing more damage, her getting more ult charge, etc., even if my normal play would be in 3 seconds, because I don't want her. She's just losing energy as we're effectively waiting like that. Okay.
Okay.
So I want us to think about Winston sort of the same way we think about Ryan when we're doing this. Or, I want us to think
Okay.
about our Zarya as Winston sort of the same way we think about our Zarya as Ryan.
This will protect us.
Good. I mean, I can get critical about ammo usage, but I suppose you're going to reload here anyways. So if we look at this, this is of course fine. You hit your leap. You hit your reload. That's just a Transcendencing Zen. We can't hurt that. We still can't hurt that. We still can't hurt that. Now we can hurt that.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's pulse bombed and it's 100% eliminated, right? As soon as it's pulse bombed, there was no chance it was saved. So, like, most of this was kind of worthless, and we could still be at, like, 80 Tesla energy, at which point we probably don't reload before going after our next target. So, just pointing it out. Mm-hmm. You know better than that. Fine. Yeah, you've swung before you've landed here. That's fine.
Take cover.
And again, this is you swinging before you've landed here. Yeah, I mean, you know your proper order for comboing people with Primal. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just you haven't practiced in a while and you're rusty, or is it something you haven't mastered in the past?
It's more of usually I can get the combo down consistently when I'm already close to them. But
Okay.
if I'm first jumping to them, then that's where I mess up a bit.
Okay. Okay. Um, I would recommend practicing that then, because that is still very doable. Like, you can practice that. You go, okay, I'm gonna prop my primal, I'm gonna pop my primal, and then jump on my bot that I'm training with. And it's harder on people because people move, etc. But that is something where it costs you very little. It doesn't cost you SR. It's not like a huge investment of time to go do it. To go, okay, here's my bot thing, and if in the past I've jumped on people with my normal leap, tased them a little, and then primaled and gone into my combo, that's one thing. But we can, Let's now practice it where we go, okay, well, I'm still generating my primal super fast based on my custom game settings, so I'm going to go in there and do it. I'm just going to primal and then leap on them, etc. Because even if most of the time you are hopefully going to primal on top of someone, you're still looking to try to get that second elimination with your primal, and that's definitely a target you have to jump onto with half, 2/3, a third of your primal left. So it's always going to be relevant.
Let's try that again.
This will protect us.
The payload has reached the
Onward
checkpoint.
and upward.
Mercy on call.
So that's your Tracer fighting a ball. Your Tracer should be totally fine fighting a ball, but okay. So now you would potentially go, hey, I'm going to go help my Tracer fight this ball. If you weren't in that situation, if you were in the situation of, hey, I still have the Zarya, you might go, you know what, Tracer already beats ball. So you could go join him just because it's time, but if your Zarya was like here, you might go, I'm going to go in just to get them energy. I'll have another chance to go in for the actual engage, right? Like you could go in for a poke phase right now with I'm going to leap, get bubbled, zap them, blah, 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 do my thing, and I'll be able to get out just fine because it's going to take them a good 8 seconds at least to get up here, which is where we actually want to take the fight. But in this situation, I think you're going to go do this. Hopefully you're going to go do this. We'll see. And yes, that's correct. Okay. You see the Discord, you follow it. That's dicey. Yep. I mean, we can look at it, but it's the sort of thing where I look at this and go, yes, it was always some risk involved in going for this leap, but that Winston is pretty weak and discorded. It's really just a case of we overleap a touch. We heard the high noon. How fast are we on this turnaround?
This will protect
Yeah,
us.
so this wasn't actually right. I mean, the actual right was to go out here. It's still scary, but it's less scary. Because, yeah.
I'm back.
Okay.
Barrier
I don't love this.
I can do something.
But you're on the Discord. Good.
Natural selection. Splashdown.
Bad guy.
I don't love this anymore. But I suppose they are a scary enough backline to go into that you don't want to. Okay, yeah, this is fine. It's honestly probably time for you to swap off Winston, just based on how these comps look. I don't have an issue with you playing Winston at all. I'm just saying, from an optimizing standpoint.
Heroes never die.
Damage output increase. This will protect us.
Damage increase.
Great idea. And then you and Tracer should hold the flank pretty easy. Good. Okay. That Reinhardt got weak, right? So that's very good. Your Reinhardt's still ahead. So we look at this. This is good. We can see that this fight is going in an okay way, but they popped one of the best ultimates in the game here in Rally. Yes?
Yes.
So we could answer with Transcendence. That's, an option. Or we could try to go, hey, maybe we have enough of a lead that we're okay, etc. But I look at this and go, just primal it. Like literally just go, nope, I am disrupting this push. I do not like you guys pushing in here with your rally like this, etc. I am coming down here and I am primaling to go, nope, your Rhine is not getting out, but if you drop in here, or their Rhine is not getting out, but if you drop in here and pop primal, you can go, hey, I'm knocking 2, 3 of you away, etc. And my team should pretty easily be able to clean this up. Like that's a thing that should be able to happen right now. So I would happily trade primal for rally here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't want to be fighting these guys head on. I wanted to be back here, drop my bubble, primal, and start knocking these guys away. And yes, I'm going to get stunned. I'm going to get flashed, but it's fine.
Okay.
And they don't have a Discord anymore, so you're just kind of like, okay, cool. Do what you guys want to me. Little unfortunate, we ended up using both. Keeping them contained, good.
60 seconds.
All 3 of them were so close. Okay. This is no longer even remotely a winnable fight. This is instead going to be about touching cart last second. We're going to do this, fine. But you didn't know there were still 2 of them. And that's reasonable that you didn't know there were 2 of them because your team should not have been getting rolled that hard if 2 of them were missing.
10 seconds.
Heroes never die. This will heal.
Okay. Okay, so the biggest thing we saw far was definitely just, hey, we need to understand how the Zarya Winston combo works, how we need to go, hey, our Zarya wants to bubble, let me be aggressive for her. Hey, it's okay for me to be aggressive, even if it's going to put my bubble on cooldown for a couple seconds when the actual fight starts. Like, as long as we're talking a couple seconds, not like 8 seconds, then yes, I want to do that. I want to get her a little more energy. Yes, you're going to have to find the threshold to not be hard feeding off of it, but it is okay to be like, hey, I gave away health, I gave away more than I'd liked, but we had to do it to get her energy, etc. So that's fine. And then we saw, of course, the primal stuff, both, hey, we need to make sure we have those mechanics when we're jumping on a target with primal, because, that matters for taking down McCree's faster, etc., etc. And I would have liked the primal trade for the rally there instead of both. But that's what we've seen so far that's kind of noteworthy. Let's see what else we get.
Ready for battle.
You'll notice in this segment that if there's one character I have trouble going against is Soldier.
You have trouble going against Soldier as Winston? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's mostly going to come down to sneaking up on him, and in some cases accepting that, hey, even if you show up on top of him, without him having done any poke damage to you, he's a tough matchup. So sometimes it is just a case of, hey, I'm zoning him, I'm distracting him, I'm making him leave a bit, but he can definitely come back and beat me. So all I get to do is make him leave a little bit. But that's okay. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one. incoming. Escort the payload.
Mm-hmm. Right idea.
Barrier activated.
Okay, you're just gonna drop. I don't really like this. It's okay, you're using your Reinhardt as your thing to take space, etc. But I suspect what you'd actually want to do is this. It's sort of that same principle of angles that we talk about for a full dive, that we talk about for DPS players, that we talk about with poke comps, where you diving from here is okay, you're using your Reinhardt to get close, but I think what you're going to end up doing shortly, or I hope, is you're going to go, hey, I don't like this, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to dive from this different angle up to push these guys back for a second and then drop and go here. But let's take a look. Okay, we're not going to get to that stage. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Okay.
This will protect us.
Mm-hmm.
Barrier up.
That was probably just me not jumping while cooldowns. No cooldowns.
Sorry, what?
That was just me jumping in with no bubble.
Yeah, I mean, that is sort of what's going on here. Here you have bubble. You use it, you do your thing. If he wasn't pocketed, maybe. If you were full health, maybe. But yeah, jumping in here without your bubble. And the reason I say maybe to those is because, hey, you can drop, immediately, etc. But here you're 60% health and you don't have a bubble. You don't have. He has a pocket. Like, yeah, you don't even get to land. I mean, you land, but there was no way for you to do anything there. You needed a little more give, which meant you had to have more resource. Close the angle. I think you just didn't realize how long you were being shot at there. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm like, it's okay, I'd love to get healed too, but let's just go get the mini, or let's go get the mega. Like, we don't need to, okay. Not a big deal. Do you have the tools to challenge a soldier on a healing station while they're Valking?
No.
Okay. Good. Oh, I thought we were good. One. It's not a 2v1, but it looks like it. You're gonna primal. You're not gonna primal.
I wanted to primal.
Yeah. Here you wanted to primal too, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Right idea, but you were keeping his attention baited even when you were behind cart, etc. So it sort of becomes as you're passing attention back and forth with your tracer, you had his attention, You go back here, you still have his attention, but he can't really see you. You can pretend to sort of peek, and you'll keep his attention, and that lets your tracer go in. And once your tracer is actually in, then you can go, okay, I'm actually going to jump, or I'm going to jump, depending on which way he goes, but you're going to jump to try and actually help that tracer. But your first help to your tracer needed to just be, I help more by preserving my own life so that I can help later. And, just pretend to peek to make him pay attention to you.
Okay.
Ich bin da. Enemy contact.
We lost track of them. That's just a tracking thing on the Mercy. No prob.
Splashdown.
You can have trouble pursuing this, but okay.
Barrier
Oh, nice of our defender sleep so early. Okay, so perfect example.
Splashdown.
Runner.
Barrier activated.
She's already spent her sleep. She's already spent her sleep. Unless you're trying to avoid getting hit by her nade here, we should be pressing forward instead of holding our distance. Like, you're holding a little bit of distance here, and we should be pressing forward because we do want to get close enough to melee weave now that we've gotten her sleep out. Again, we could have had a melee by now for sure. And then we could have a second melee here. And then we just have our third melee and she's gone, sort of thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to use primal here and we still beat her.
Okay.
Good.
Would you like to donate your blood to science?
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei. Ich bin da.
Just protect your Ash, fine. Now you're body blocking. Drop.
I was thinking the same thing when I was reviewing this game.
Okay,
I
that's
should've
fine.
done
Okay, that's fine. As long as you get it, then we're fine. And the hamster.
What is going on? Get that healer.
Activating shield. Engaging.
Good. Right idea. Staging for space. We're into a double poke comp. So are they. Okay. Just drop.
Heroes. Adjusting angle of attack.
Okay, this is probably time to go in. Your ashes hit. Yeah, this is almost certainly just a, hey, we'll go through, we'll swing through, and we'll hit our pile drive here type situation. You have a good feel that they're right here, and you're up one, so you know your team is committed to this fight. It's also decent chance of disrupting their timing of stopping, getting to the payload, because, of course, pile drive does a good job of holding people in place.
Helden sterben nicht.
Yeah, I I do think you were better with a, hey, we're going to swing through this way and pile drive situation than the roll up here to try to knock this way. Knocking this way, it was never going to have any real chance of knocking people off. You don't have a good way to follow it up with pile drive. Like, I'm less a fan. It's fine.
Payload secured. Move out. Scanning for targets.
I could use some assistance.
Top speed reached. Rolling out.
Leave, right? Leave. Good. Good.
Hanzo, at your
It's
service.
going to be tough to get a good approach from here, but we can live with it.
Get to it. I shall seize the payload safely.
At your service.
I would have been impressed. Team's effectively already won it. Good.
Get out of my way. Moving the payload. Join me. Repairing.
Seen through the dragon's eyes.
30 seconds remaining. Nanoboost administered.
I don't mind shooting at the hog here, but do you think shooting at the hog is your best use of your, Yeah, for another second it is. Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't tolerate defeat.
Good. And then when you have it back, you... Okay.
Weapons linked.
I mean, obviously we know that there was always the danger of this, but I look at this and I'm more thinking
Tolerate defeat.
that there were other targets if you continued that roll, but they've moved.
Weapons linked.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt.
Good.
Top speed reached.
Did you feel like did you feel like you had any poke problems after you were playing ball into that, or you were saying before the round that you felt like the soldier really gave you problems. I think mostly that was a case of, hey, you had the one jump here that you didn't have enough resources, and then you had this where you overpeaked. Did you feel like beyond that there were real issues
With Wrecking-Ball for Winston.
with Winston?
Um, I guess just trying to approach the finding a way to approach the high ground without getting poked out so much against the soldier.
Sure. So, back when we're on first here, you've got, hey, your Reinhardt is doing this, your Reinhardt is drawing some eyes from you, and you looked like you were going a little bit here, and your options sort of become, hey, I can try to go here where I'm jumping from a direction that they're potentially not looking at, or if my Reinhardt's going here, I'm going to go here, and then maybe I double back, or I actually go this way and then try to go up on it. Those are your only real options, right? Like, yes, you can totally do the, hey, I'm going to crouch walk through here, but tracers and sombras are common enough picks right now that I don't super recommend going through here because you lose if, they guessed that you're going down here and you run into one down there. Like, there's no way out, etc. So once you know the comp, you can go through here. But for that first push, it's got to be the other ways. And then obviously back here, you can creep your way up, etc. By second, we made our swaps, we went wrecking ball, etc. So I don't think there's a ton to talk about here.
Okay. I think with Wrecking Ball, I get more value with Zarya as my second tank than Winston. If I was playing like Winston Zarya versus Wrecking Ball Zarya, I think I play more aggressive with Wrecking Ball than
Right.
Winston.
Wrecking Ball naturally doesn't get punished as hard for playing aggressive than Winston, so you tend to naturally play a little more aggressive with Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball sort of still gets played how Winston was played back in early dive days, because Wrecking Ball can get away with it a bit more, and that makes it actually easier for the Zarya to get good bubbles. The thing is, Winston is still a little better when it comes to some of that precision, high ground control, etc. That's why you see him picked in some spots. When you get to like the meta quote unquote comp that people are sort of trying right now, and it hasn't been perfectly ironed out, but you do see more Zarya with Winston and whereas Diva with Ball type stuff. You don't see a ton of Ball Zarya. Some Zarya Ball happens because those are heroes that both people are practicing in their latter games, etc. But yes, you get that and that's fine, but Ball sort of doesn't need that Zarya bubble to be effective, and you want the other things it brings, whereas Winston needs that Zarya bubble to be able to play the playstyle that Ball plays.
Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
The payload.
Could. Yeah, there'd be very little reason not to. You're gonna go on the group instead? Okay. Oh, beautiful. What? You didn't send the Reinhardt this far forward. What did send the Reinhardt that far forward? I was thinking, hey, you should go knock the Reinhardt forward, but he just...
He just kept walking forward.
Okay. That's, hey, works for me. Well, doesn't matter. We're gonna heal this. Unfortunate. I think you just didn't realize fast enough. I mean, you can't eliminate that Echo. They have the Harmony Orb and the Mercy. You've got to shoot at the Mercy, unfortunately. I say as you guys eliminate the Echo. Cool. Did I miss a Discord? Or did you guys just decide to connect with Hanzo shots? No Discord. You guys just decided to connect with Hanzo shots. Yeah, okay, fine. You're going for this. You've completed your reload. I hope you immediately gunner mode. You don't. That's unfortunate. After your reloaded completed, this was just a case of, oh yeah, I still have this Zarya bubble. I might as well play from here a bit. But let's see where you go instead. You want to go back to Peel? Okay.
Victory conditions
I don't like this cart moving, and I don't think they deserve this cart to be moving. Like, if you look just back here a second. Okay. I don't think your backline is in any danger from that ball, do you?
No.
Okay. So, are you going to take, like, a ton of damage if you go contest point for a moment?
No.
Okay, so again, I would like you to just do a quick drop here. You don't even have to shoot at anyone. It's literally just I'm going to drop here and I'm going to roll right on by and out type thing, because this is just I just want to activate the contest. I just want to slow the cart down a little so that when my team gets here, the cart's in a better spot for us to fight, etc. And I think that's preferable to this peel that I don't think your team needs. Good. You change your mind and go in. So you're continuing to roll away with the bubble rather than try to play the angle, but you aren't going to do too much with the angle. Okay.
Let the dragon consume you.
Was this dragon called in any way?
No.
Okay. If it had been called, we'd have definitely wanted to slam this side, not this side, but that's fine. At this point, you're just reacting because, oh, hey, right, we're dragoning.
Let them up.
Minefield.
Get in there.
Okay.
Tactical.
Let's go here. You in general play pretty peel heavy, and I'm not objecting to that, but I do want you to sort of broaden your options a little bit for, hey, I'm going to go disrupt the back line, or I'm going to go touch the card, or I want you to feel like there's more options rather than peel. And we're going to get that the right way with, hey, what we have when we're playing Winston Zarya with what you're going to go do. But in general, even though I've got no issue with peeling, I like you going, hey, I'm going to deal with the threats that are here, et cetera, et cetera. I'd like you to consider, hey, does the backline have sightlines on my team? Does it make more sense? Does it do more peel for my team to disrupt the backline than it does to peel this ball, Winston, whatever that is in my backline? Like, it's fine, but I want you to have a little more openness to that possibility in some of these situations. Because I see that with both of your dive tanks at this point.
Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
The payload is in my charge. Let us move it.
Very quick drive-by.
Here it comes.
Yep.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay. I'm not as confident you had that tracer as I think you were, but we'll take it.
The payload is approaching its destination.
The fight's happening, but you're up. I think you do delay the extra second for the mega here.
10 seconds.
Fine.
Overtime.
Good. Okay, so nothing wild there. Definitely saw a little more on the Winston. The general thing is going to be the, hey, let's make sure we're really thinking about in some of these situations like you were. It looks to me like you're autopiloting into a bit of I peel. Peel's what I do. I drive back their dive tank. I drive back their person that's, if their Winston's in, I drive back their Winston. If their ball's in, I drive back their ball. And that can totally be right a lot of the time, but I want to entertain the possibility of, hey, am I going to do more by disrupting their Zen Ash McCree backline line at this moment while my team deals with the ball rather than let those guys contribute? Or am I going to do more that by delaying the cart for a moment at a very low trade to myself while my guys should be fine in the 3v1 that they have or the 4v1 that they have against the ball? I want a little more openness to that idea because right now it feels like you're hard defaulting to the Peel playstyle, which is right when your poke is better than theirs. But in some of these, how should I say, more even matchups or when they're really heavy on poke, uh, it can be better to go, no, let me disrupt their backline instead. That's going to relieve more pressure. Like I'm going to peel for my team better by disrupting their backline if their backline is a very ranged backline, as opposed to peeling the tank that's in my backline, etc. So a little more openness to that on both. But then when we get into Winston, we've got a couple more minor things that we can get into where, hey, I want a little more ammo conservation through melee reaving. I want the what was I saying? The extra primal practice when it comes to, hey, even if you're mid primal, etc., you should be able to reacquire a target and appropriately combo it, where you do the, hey, I jump in, I'm landing on my target. As I'm hitting my landing damage, as it's starting to be lifted, but I do hit my landing damage first, that's when I swing so that they take the swing before they've been knocked away by the landing damage, but I'm not swinging while I'm flying through the air towards my target because then the swing will hit first and I won't get my landing damage. And then the big thing, of course, the biggest thing of this review is going to be understanding, hey, when I have a Zarya and I'm playing that Winston, and you ran into it a bit with the ball too, though that was less on your ball and more on your Zarya. Your Zarya wasn't giving you bad bubbles. Excuse me. Your Zarya was giving you bad bubbles. Full disclaimer. Like I don't deny that in the slightest, but just like with a Reinhardt, you'd forces Zarya to give you good bubbles by going, I'm going to do things right when their bubble cooldown comes back that they want me to do or they should want me to do will get you good bubbles. You're going to look to do the same thing with your Winston. That's how we're going to take advantage of this. We're looking to go, and even if it was a better Zarya, you'd still look to be doing that because that's going to maximize the energy differential between your Zarya and their Zarya, and that is a big deal. It's also going to charge you faster primals because that's actually what this comp is really about. This comp is a lot about, hey, let's charge up our ults and then let's cycle through our ults to win team fight after team fight after team fight. And you want to get to your first set of ultimates, that primal and that grab as quickly as you can there. And then you again on your ball you got some bad bubbles too, but we can think of it much the same way when we're playing the fake comp that it is like that, etc. Do you have any questions?
I think one one of the main reasons for my peel heavy play styles because I think it's just me not trusting my backline to survive
Sure.
against like a ball or a Winston. Even though like relatively when you look at the situation like that, it's like okay they're gonna survive. But me personally, I don't have that much trust.
And
So
I
that's why I played it for a peel heavy.
and I totally get it, but at some point you hit a point where you go, I don't trust that one of them isn't going to find a way to get themselves eliminated in that 1v3, but I'm more concerned that that Ash is going to open the angle or that Ash is going to fire into that 1v3 and make it a 2v3 than I am about the Winston or the ball that's in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sort of finding that space of, hey, like, if the other team can't contribute, yeah, I'll go peel. But if the other team can contribute or if the backline of the other team can contribute, I'm more worried about them in some situations than I'm in the ball. It's not that I fully trust my team to do it right, it's that I'm more worried about this other threat. That might help as a way to think about it.
Okay, I think I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
I think I fully understand what I need to do now, what to work on.
Okay.